And that's why we say that the change to the status quo that's prevailed with regard to Taiwan for more than 40 years is coming from Beijing, not from the United States or anyone else. That status quo is founded on something that was clearly understood for decades, and that is the differences between Taiwan and the mainland need to be resolved peacefully. And what we've seen China do over the last few years is move away from a peaceful resolution of differences to doing so coercively and potentially forcefully. What we would hope Beijing would focus on is the fact that for 40 years plus, we've managed this problem, this challenge well. We've done it in a way that's avoided any conflict. We've done it in a way that's allowed Taiwan itself to flourish. I think that's the expectation that countries around the region and around the world have. They certainly expect us, the United States and China, to manage our differences responsibly. That's what we're determined to do.
Indiana's Republican Governor Eric Holcomb signed into law a bill that bans most abortions, making Indiana the first U.S. state to impose such a ban since Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court. In a Friday statement, Holcomb said, quote, "Following the overturning of Roe, I stated clearly that I would be willing to support legislation that made progress in protecting life." SB 1 was passed by the Republican-controlled Senate in a vote of 28-19 on Friday evening as abortion rights demonstrators protested outside the Senate chambers. Some held signs that read, "My body, my choice," and SB 1 is a death sentence. The legislation bans abortions altogether, with exceptions allowed in cases of fetal abnormalities considered lethal or to prevent serious physical health risks to the mother. Exceptions are also permitted for underage victims of rape or incest, but only up to 10 weeks of pregnancy. Indiana became a flashpoint for the renewed national abortion debate in late June when a 10-year-old rape victim from neighboring Ohio traveled to Indiana to terminate her pregnancy because her home state banned abortions after 6 weeks, with no exceptions for sexual assault or incest. West Virginia is likely days away from passing a near-total abortion ban, and some 10 other Republican-led states have already implemented similarly strict measures.
Airstrikes and rocket fire pushed Israel and Palestinians into a second day of fighting on Saturday, ending more than a year of relative calm along the border. It comes a day after Israel killed a senior commander of the Islamic Jihad militant group in a surprise daytime airstrike on a high-rise building in Gaza City. On Saturday, Israel said it struck Islamic Jihad militants, which had been preparing to launch rockets and militant posts. Witnesses said additional bombings targeted 5 houses. Ibrahim Shamalak's home in Gaza City was destroyed in a strike. He says the Israeli army warned him in advance to evacuate his house before it was hit. In response to Israel's strikes, Palestinian militants fired at least 160 rockets across the border. Most missiles were intercepted, and there were no reports of serious casualties, Israel's ambulance service said. The Israeli strikes have killed at least 14 Palestinians, including at least 4 more Islamic Jihad militants and a child. They have also wounded at least 110 people, the Palestinian Health Ministry said. Islamic Jihad did not provide precise details on how many of its members had been killed and signalled no immediate ceasefire. The frontier had been largely quiet since May 2021, when 11 days of fierce fighting between Israel and militants left at least 250 in Gaza and 13 in Israel dead.
On Tuesday, the choice is as clear as day is from night. On Tuesday, you will be choosing between the team that has a plan about the future of our country and the team that will tell you many stories about the past and what happened in the past.
Fellow Kenyans, as you go to the ballot on Tuesday, I want you to know that we as a country are at inflection point. Either something very good will happen or something terrible will happen.